Welcome to Christopher Creek Winery. Today we're tasting some of our Pinots that are unique to us. I'm Joe Fapoli, I'm one of the owners here, and here's our winemaker.
Mike Brunson, one of the winemakers here. Yeah.
So today we're going to be tasting 4 different single vineyard Pinots. The first is from our estate here on the property, the Eastern Hills of Russian River Valley. Second one we'll try is from the property that I grew up on Slessor Road, Fapoli Family Vineyards. It's somewhere between Middle Reach, Laguna Ridge, and Santa Rosa Plains, kind of in that kind of blended gray areas there. Third one we're going to try is the Caston Family Vineyard, which is just outside of downtown Windsor. It's a Middle Reach neighborhood. And then finally, we're going to try our Labio Family Pinot from west of Petaluma, Sonoma Coast. So first off here, we have our estate Pinot. Again, all 4 of these wines that we're trying today are exclusive to Christopher Creek Winery, all single vineyards. Mike, what would you like to say about this particular Pinot?
Well, we grafted this over from Syrah in 2013. It's a special block because we pull a little bit of the fruit for rosé as well, and a little bit for the Nouveau in some vintages. The 2017 standalone Pinot, clones 115 and Pommard. Really a fun wine. Shows the taste of place as much as any of these Pinots do. And for those who are not familiar, we're up in the northeastern corner of the Russian River Valley, a special spot, notoriously Syrah, Petite Syrah, Zinfandel land. But when these guys took over the place in 2012, we were like, we gotta have a Pinot Noir here in Russian River Valley. It seems silly. We still get a lot of the fog and all that sort of stuff. We're usually the first to clear, but we also are, it's still the Russian River Valley. So been really happy with that transition from Syrah to Pinot. Really quick turnaround on this wine. One reason is there's eucalyptus trees nearby, and I'm pretty sensitive to eucalyptus, so I tend to think if it's gonna be in there, it's gotta be in there in really, really light doses. So we do a quick fermentation on this, which isn't noticeable on the palate. It's still a pretty big wine. Nice structure, nice grip, nice acidic line through the middle of the wine. But if you leave it on there too long, you let it get too hot, it would pick up some of those eucalyptus characters, which I don't get a lot of them in this. I don't actually get any, to be honest with you.
For 2017, it's really accessible now, but you can definitely lay it down for some time. And like I said, I think less than 70 cases this one made, only about 3 barrels.
Yeah, just 3 barrels, 30%, 33% new French oak, Rousseau and Francois Frere.
Yeah, just crazy complex. So
Yeah.
next up, we've got another Pinot of similar production, and going 3 barrels this one as well. 2017 Fapoli Family Vineyards, and again, all 4 of these wines are exclusive to Christopher Creek. Mike, what do you want to say about this? This is all clone 23.
All clone 23, and actually, it's really cool that you can have wine grapes, or in this case Pinot Noir, that actually just their clonal selection makes a huge difference. 23 is night and day from Pommard and 115. Those tend to be the friendly clones, as some call them, party in a glass or whatever, because they're so quaffable. The 23 tends to be a little more sophisticated, maybe a little tighter upon release, but now it's showing really nice with just a little bit of air in the glass.
And then on the map for the neighborhoods, this one comes somewhere around here, like I said, where Middle Reach, Santa Rosa Plains, and Laguna Ridge all meet. So it's hard to identify, but it takes on some different really unique characteristics. Growing up on the property, I know that we always had a lot of fog early in the morning, getting kind of trapped up in the rolling hills, and then burn off in the afternoon. So warmer afternoons, really just kind of traditional Russian River Valley and what people would expect, and awesome for growing both Pinot and Chardonnay.
Yeah, 17 was a great vintage in the fact that we got some stuff in early, and these are some of the wines that we played with first in that vintage. And all wild yeast fermentations on all of these. I know we talked about that before, but it is something that we like to kind of hang our hat on because it does give a different stamp than you would get if you were using cultivated yeast that everybody else in the industry uses. So again, sort of highlighting the taste of place, These are all wines or grapes that we get from vineyards that nobody else gets fruit from. So we're trying to highlight those. We got here Cassim.
So next up, we've got the Cassim family vineyard. Again, another single vineyard. This is located on Star Road, just west of downtown Windsor. This would be in the Middle Reach neighborhood of Russian River Valley. So we're gonna say Windsor's right here, so it's just here, not too close, pretty close to the Russian River again. And again, this is the Middle Reach, which people are familiar with, you know, your traditional Rocchioli, Bacigalupi, all the Williamsonian iconic vineyards are also all in the Middle Reach neighborhood. And then Mike, what do you want to say about this particular vineyard, this Pinot?
This one's delicious. Wow. What is it, 10:30 in the morning we're doing this, and I could actually really go after that one. The Cassim
it's afternoon in New York right
Oh,
now.
okay, perfect, yeah. The Cassim is a property that we farm ourselves as well. More of the same clones, 115, some of the Pomard in there as well, and a little bit of 828. So it shows that complexity that comes with blending clones like that. You get some highlights, some grip associated with that 828. It's another sustainably farmed vineyard. Coincidentally enough, the previous owners, had this in the ground for 15 years before we got it, and we feel like we're getting the prime years, if you will. I'm not sure why that's a coincidence, but yeah.
That's the Cassim, another great one. So finally, we have the 2017 Labio Vineyard Pinot. This is from Sonoma Coast. Like I said, the vineyard itself is just west of downtown Petaluma. So this is not on this map. This is the Russian River Valley, the neighborhoods. So it's just south of Sebastopol Hills. I said again on the west side. Got it? Cool. So Leo Labio's, anybody who's tasted this wine before and have heard the story, was one of my grandfather's oldest friends. He passed a few years back in '97. 200-acre dairy ranch, and there's a 1-acre vineyard planted within it, and it's was it 828 and 115?
Exactly.
The two clones planted in that 1 acre, farmed by 3 different generations, including Jocko, who's quite a character. Of course, Mike and B are awesome, and Daniel as well. But like I said, 3 generations farming this 1 acre vineyard on the property, and it's immaculately tended and smells like cow shit in a good way.
Yeah. It's the foggiest vineyard, actually, of all the vineyards that we source fruit from. It is the foggiest vineyard. Middle of the day, everything else is cleared up. You go out to their spot there, and it's still foggy and still really socked in fog. It's a cool climate Pinot, if you will. Joe mentioned it. It does. It is an old dairy farm. It tastes like a farm at times. Certain vintages more than others. 17 is showing some of it. It's
Still very balanced wine though.
yeah, very balanced, and again, back to the taste of place. In a lineup, I mean, we're professionals, of course. We could pick this out certainly, but I think a lot of people could really. It has a stamp on it that we used to, in previous endeavors, I called it a wild stamp. It tastes so much like the place that nothing else tastes like it. Going over to the vineyard is always a good time because they're very hospitable people, and so you go over there to sample grapes, and you may not get out of there without eating and drinking a lot of food and wine. It's a great thing.
The Labio family is from the same region of northern Italy, the Valtellina, that my family's from, and we've known them, like I said, forever. And so when we get together, it's always all kinds of house-made cheeses and house-cured meats, and a little bit of everything. It's, again, like I said, you said, it's hard to get out of there. So sometimes when you want to check the vineyard, you're trying to hope not to find Jocko, but if Jocko finds you, he's going to take you to the cellar. And
it's every time. I think they do it on a daily basis, actually. I don't think it's anything special necessarily. It's just the way they do it. And, Jocko tends these vines all by himself, and you can tell. You go out there, it's one of the prettiest vineyards we source from as far as care is concerned, nothing out of place. They just do a great job, and we're really fortunate to be the only people to get this fruit.
It smells like old world, tastes like California. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So today we tasted the estate Pinot from Christopher Creek Winery, the property here in the eastern hills of Russian River Valley. We also tasted the Fapoli family vineyards from our home property on Slessor Road by the Sonoma County Airport. Then next we tried the Cassim Vineyard Middle Reach from Star Road, just outside of downtown Windsor. And then finally the Labio family vineyard in west of Petaluma, Sonoma Coast, Petaluma Gap. And these are all 4 really unique Pinots, and as we're tasting them, it's just kind of a reminder, because we don't usually do this ourselves unless there's an opportunity like this, but to see how unique and just true to the place in our winery itself that these are is just so fun and awesome, and we really appreciate sharing this kind of time with you all, and I hope that you guys enjoy this yourselves as well. So cheers, Mike.